Now let's get to some of your thoughts on my one-on-one interview with the director of ODOT. That's Kris Strickler. We talked a lot about tolling and where new money will come from in the future to fund his agency, which, by the way, has over $4 billion in debt now. Here's a look at my big takeaways in case you missed the show last night. Tolling is down, but it's not out. ODOT's getting tight on money and does not want to borrow anymore. The future likely includes an increase in the gas tax, maybe forever linked to inflation and forever going up. And we will likely see a road user charge where you and I will pay for every mile we drive. And as of now, there are no plans to toll I-205, that bridge across the Columbia, even though the new I-5 bridge just to the west will be tolled in the years to come. Check out the KGW YouTube channel for the full segment if you'd like to learn more about all of that. But your reaction to our story varied. Many asked questions about the proposed solutions. We'll get into that in a moment. But some of you, like Jan, say, come on, enough is enough.
ODOT is the most overloaded outfit I've ever seen as a business owner. I personally watched them replace a 35-foot piece of guardrail with 13 people that could have been done by 4. This is just ridiculous. Cut them off.
All right, thanks for your comment, Jan. A viewer commented on our YouTube video, I don't like any of his solutions. Things are already expensive and they're going to just make our transportation more expensive. So there's certainly some of you who feel that way, but others say the current funding streams need to be squeezed before anything new is implemented. David wrote to us to say, I think a good start is enforcing the registration of existing vehicles out there. I can't count how many cars need their registration updated since our government slacked off during COVID. And yeah, we do hear that a lot from many of you who notice the expired or absent tags on cars in our area. But apart from tolling, which, as we've said, is more a matter of when, not if, we'll see. It's the road user charge idea that has many of you folks fired up. Basically, with a road user charge, you pay a tax for every mile that you drive. Now, the exact details of how that would be enforced are not clear yet. Many wondered how the state would track your miles, if out-of-state travel would count, that kind of thing. And that is something for the legislature to iron out. But a viewer named Wendy already sees major issues with a plan like that.
My concern on the one-on-one with ODOT Director Kris Strickler conversation about where funds are going to come if toll bridges aren't put into place is the tax for using the roads. So somebody such as myself who doesn't work from home but works out serving people in a social services setting, I'm going to be absorbing that while the people that are working at home aren't going to be. That is a huge concern of mine.
All right, and Bob wrote in, what I don't see in the plan is how to apply a tax to all the Washington vehicles that travel on the highways, freeways in the metro area. Seems a little one-sided to me as an Oregonian that I should have to pay a mileage tax to pay for roads that will also benefit the hordes of vehicles that travel in and out of Portland every day from the Washington side. We'll be watching closely over the next year and a half as the governor has tasked the legislature with finding a viable funding solution for ODOT in 2025 with a pay-per-mile plan a likely element. But how about some outside-the-box thinking? A different viewer named Bob wrote to us, every vehicle that travels Oregon Road has one thing in common, tires. I don't believe Oregonians pay a tax for tires. It's fair to everyone that uses the highway system, trucks, trailers, gas vehicles, electric vehicles, and bicycles. If the rubber meets the road, tax it. Well, I like what you did there, Bob. Turns out the tire tax idea has already been discussed in Salem. It was House Bill 3158. It was introduced during the 2023 session by Portland Democrat Rob Noce. It was sent to committee, had a single public hearing, and then sat on the shelf for 4 months. So, yeah, kind of had the air let out of it, if you know what I mean, and it died. We'll see if an appetite for a tax like that is renewed during the 2025 session as part of a suite of ODOT funding.